Hi Mustangs, and welcome to this episode of Red, Blue, and You. And I'm joined today by our Associate Provost and Professor of Sociology, Dr. Sherry Kunovich. She's here to talk with us about the academic calendar and milestones and help you get prepared for your first year at SMU.
Thank you, Camille, for inviting me. I'm excited to be joining you and all of our new Mustangs for Red, Blue, and You today.
Awesome. Dr. Kunovich, we know that our academic advisors are here to help students navigate their way through their first year. But where else can students keep up with different academic milestones that they should be watching out for throughout the year?
Well, as a new student, I would definitely start with your Pruna passport. It has all the information that you need about important dates, the different offices on campus, the names and phone numbers. So that's a great place.
Now, you mentioned a lot of resources, but with so many things to keep up with, what do you think is the best way to help students stay organized?
I would definitely recommend 3 different resources when you get started each semester. First, you're going to have the good old-fashioned piece of paper called the Semester at a Glance. That's provided by the Altschuler Learning Enhancement Center. Our new students get so excited every semester when they get their Semester at a Glance because it literally allows you to see all the important academic calendar dates and then for you to write your most important assignments onto the calendar. And then you're able to quickly see which weeks might be the most congested, might be the most difficult. You can communicate that to your family, to your friends. You could let work know that you need those days off. A second resource that's really important for you to be familiar with as a new student is our Canvas Learning Management System and the calendar that is provided there. That calendar is going to give you a lot more details about assignments and dates for each of your classes. Great resource. And then the third resource, of course, would be your Outlook calendar. SMU is a Microsoft Outlook school, and you're going to find that a lot of offices on campus will invite you to different events that you can quickly manage using Outlook. Outlook is also a great way to organize all of your email. You're going to get a lot of email from SMU, so learning how to create folders, how to use the rules to highlight certain emails is a really important strategy for organizing your information.
Awesome, thank you. So 3 different calendar management systems that students can use to help stay organized. And Dr. Kunovich, why do you think the academic calendar is so important for students to keep up with?
The primary reason you really need to be familiar with the academic calendar is there are certain dates that are simply not negotiable. The dates by which you have to enroll in your classes, the dates by which you have to drop a class, complete your financial aid paperwork. Those dates need to be front and center, and you need to organize your activities around those dates. So the 2 most important milestones I always want to check in on at the end of your first year are, did you complete 30 hours of your courses successfully? And did you have an opportunity to take a course that will either allow you to declare a major if you're a transfer student or to explore the major you hope to declare? Major exploration, major declaration are always front and center when we're designing your schedule, and making sure that you complete those in the first year are critical. Another important milestone would be how much of your general education requirements did you complete? We really want you to complete your foundation courses, like your writing class, critical reasoning, second language, but we also want you to explore different courses for your breadths and your graduation requirements.
And where can students find the academic calendar?
The academic calendar is available. The original home for it is the registrar's homepage, but what you're going to find is there are a lot of reminders and a lot of links on a lot of people's pages to make sure that you're familiar with it. For parents and families who want to sign up for the parent and family newsletter, we also remind you regularly in that newsletter about the academic calendar dates. And then for students, my office, Student Academic Engagement and Success, has a weekly newsletter called SMU Connected, where we remind you about the dates and also provide you with videos and quick guides to how to take the action that might be associated with the date.
And how can a student plan beyond just their first semester at SMU?
The best tool for long-term planning at SMU is your degree planner. I know you're going to have a Red, Blue, and You all about the degree planner. I strongly recommend that you watch that one, that you watch the videos we provide. Degree planner will allow you to make sure that you can complete all of your credits for each of the majors or minors if you want to do more than one that you plan to complete. It'll also allow you to indicate when you might want to go abroad, when you're thinking about taking a class on our Taos campus, and how you want to fit an internship experience into your 4-year plan. And for transfer students, of course, you might not need all 4 years, so the degree planner is a wonderful tool to help you create a schedule that might be completed in 4 semesters or 5, for example.
How many credits should I obtain each semester to make sure I graduate in 4 years?
We always recommend that a student completes, on average, 15 credits per semester in order to complete the 120 credits. Of course, that number might vary a little bit based on the requirements for your major and your minor. It might vary based on how many general education requirements you came to SMU with, but the best goal is 15 credits. I also want to make sure that when students are thinking about building their schedule, that you keep in mind the possibility of dropping a course and how dropping a course might move you down from full-time, which is 12 credits or more, to below full-time. When you drop below full-time at SMU, it might limit your opportunities to be engaged in campus leadership. It might limit your opportunities to engage in fraternity and sorority life. So always keep in mind when you're planning your schedule what requirements you might have in terms of maintaining full-time enrollment, and how dropping a course that's worth 4 credits or 5 credits might impact that goal of 12 hours. But again, 15 is the number you need for graduation.
If students want to study abroad or study in Taos, when should they start planning?
You know, we always recommend that students who are interested in going abroad, students who are interested in an experience on our Taos campus, start planning that as soon as possible. You want to mention it to your academic advisor in your first session with them. The sooner you have a plan for when you want to have that experience, the more likely we are to make sure that you're holding back those courses that we know will be offered in those places.
Previously, you mentioned that some dates on the academic calendar are non-negotiable. Can students request a different final exam date and time?
Probably one of the most common questions that I get at the end of a semester is, can I change my final exam day and time? And the answer is no. Faculty, of course, have some discretion with making a change if a student has really extenuating circumstances, but the best plan is to assume that you need to be on campus until your very last final exam day and time. Students can find their final exam date and time on the registrar's website, and you can know from your first day of class how long you need to be on campus for at the end.
Are parents allowed to check their students' grades?
You know, it's a really important question that gets asked. Can a parent, should a parent be checking their students' grades? The way it works at SMU is students have the right to give you permission to check your grades, but they also have the right to remove that permission. We always recommend that students and parents are in a conversation around what permissions the parent will have in terms of accessing the student academic record, the student's financial record. Of course, we want that open conversation between parents and students because that's really the best way to check in with your student. But we also know that a lot of parents just want the ease of logging in and seeing what's going on. So if you find that you had permission one day and the next day it's gone, you just need to reach out to your student and ask them to give you that permission back.
How can parents make sure they are up to date on all of the information for themselves and for their student?
The 2 best ways that a parent can make sure they're up to date on all the dates and that there's an awareness of all the offices and resources are to start with the Pruna passport. make sure that you become familiar with what all we offer. Second, I would really encourage you to sign up for the parent and family newsletter. And in your first year, to choose the option that sends you a weekly update. You can also choose particular topics or communities that you want to hear more about through the newsletter. Another resource that's really important for students, if they can't find the information, is your academic advisor. Your academic advisor in the University Advising Center knows everything about campus, or they know who to connect you with. And then the third resource that works for students and parents is an email called academicsuccess@smu.edu. Lots of people in the area of student academic engagement and success monitor that email, and we will give you an answer as quickly as possible.
Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Kunovich. Are there any final pieces of advice you'd like to provide?
I just wanted to say how excited we are to have you come to campus. We love welcoming new students. We love the questions that you ask. We love the energy that you bring. And please feel free to reach out and let someone know if you have a question and you can't find an answer to it. We're always here to help you.
That's a wrap for this episode of Red, Blue, and You. Pony up, Mustangs!